The story begins with a hardcore gamer named Kenichi. This guy was so obsessed that he spent his entire life glued to the screen. Just today, he finally finished a massive game that took him 3 whole years to complete. But instead of feeling proud, he was frustrated. Another one finished, he sighed. I need something real, a game so difficult it takes at least 10 years to beat. Kenichi started hunting for the ultimate challenge, but even after hours of searching, he found nothing. Then, suddenly, his computer began to glitch. Out of nowhere, a mysterious fantasy game appeared on his screen. The options were simple: easy, normal, hard, and hell mode. Kenichi didn't want a short adventure, so he doubled down and picked hell mode. Next came the skills. He chose the summoner class, even after the game warned him he would start with absolutely nothing. In fact, he'd be dirt poor. But this only made him happier. Finally, he thought, a real challenge. The moment he hit enter, a blinding light engulfed the room. When the light faded, Kenichi realized he wasn't in his room anymore. He had been reborn into another world. As a tiny newborn baby, confused and lost, he felt a pair of strong arms pick him up. He soon realized his new name was Alan. Even though he was a baby, Alan was actually thrilled. In his previous life, he was a 35-year-old unmarried gamer with no future. This was his second chance. Fast forward 1 year and Alan is now a toddler. His mother, Teresia, is beautiful and kind, while his father, Rodin, is a hardworking 20-year-old. But remember that hell mode he picked? Well, it was starting to bite. His family was extremely poor, living in a struggling border village called Fentire. Life here was brutal. Constant wars and heavy taxes just to keep their land. Alan noticed his parents were quite romantic, and he jokingly realized he'd probably have a younger brother very soon. One night, after his parents tucked him into, well, work on that younger brother, Alan stayed awake. He decided to check his stats. Suddenly, a glowing book appeared before him. He was so excited he accidentally screamed out loud. His parents rushed back in, but Alan was quick. He hid the book and pretended to be fast asleep. They figured he was just talking in his dreams and left. Alan opened the book again. He was currently level 1. On the next page, he found the details of his summoning skill. To grow stronger, he needed skill experience points. The more monsters he summoned, the higher his level would climb. For now, he could only summon rank H creatures, the lowest of the low, like basic insects and beasts. Suddenly, a message from the world's creator popped up in the book. The creator actually apologized. "Sorry for the wait on your grimoire," the message read. "The skill you chose was still in testing, so it took some time to finish." Alan shrugged it off. "No worries. Now that I have the grimoire, let's test it." Using his create skill, he manifested an insect card. He was just about to summon it when his mom walked in again. Back to acting. He realized his 1-year-old body gets tired way too fast. "I'll do the summoning tomorrow," he thought as he drifted off to sleep. In the next scene, we see Alan has grown even more. He's finally learned how to walk, and as his mum leaves the room like always, Alan knows his real journey is about to begin. Taking advantage of this moment, Alan brings out his grimoire and attempts to summon the insect. Suddenly, a brilliant light fills the room and an insect appears. It's a grasshopper. Alan calls it to him, but instead of coming closer, the grasshopper starts wandering off. "It's not listening to me," Alan mutters. He checks the grimoire for answers and sees its stats. He also realizes he can give it a name. He names it Denka. He notices that summoning Denka has actually increased his own stats, which makes him so happy that he shouts out loud. His mother rushes in, hears the noise, and sees a giant grasshopper in the room. Terrified, she immediately stomps on it, turning poor Denka into a pancake. Time passes, and after a lot of practice, Alan summons a mouse. This mouse has a special ability. It can run incredibly fast. This time, he names it Mousy. However, both Denka and Mousy are extremely stubborn and refuse to follow any of Alan's orders. He realizes there are much more powerful monsters in this world, but he can't summon them yet. He also discovers a key mechanic. He can stock up to 10 summon cards for each creature. If he summons the mouse card 10 times, his stats will increase 10 times over. Suddenly, his father, Rodin, arrives, and his clothes are covered in blood. He announces that he has hunted a great boar and asks Alan if he wants to see it. Alan is thrilled because he has never seen a monster before. Rodin carries him on his shoulders and tells him about the Albert birds, which only come out once a year, and that Alan was named after them. When they reach the boar, Alan is shocked. The monster is truly massive. He looks at the details and gathers information, realizing this C-rank monster is incredibly dangerous. Just then, a man named Zerda arrives. When Alan speaks to him, Zerda is stunned that a child so young can already read and write so well. "My daughter is the same age," Zerda says, "and she can't even speak properly yet." Everyone cheers for Rodin for defeating the boar. 10 months pass, and Alan is now 1 year and 10 months old. Both his summoning and create skills have reached level 2. He is overjoyed to find out he can now summon G-rank monsters. He also unlocks a new skill, Fusion, which allows him to combine summons. Plus, his card inventory space has doubled. Alan realizes he can now write anything in his grimoire. He wants to try the fusion skill, but he doesn't have enough mana, MP, yet. He goes to eat, recovers, and heads to his room to sleep, leaving his parents confused as to why he went to bed so early. In the room, he tries to fuse the cards, but fails again due to low MP. He decides to try summoning a beast card instead, but even for that, his mana isn't enough. Alan feels quite sad. Fast forward to when Alan is 3 years old. He finally fuses 2 cards and creates a G-rank card. He summons it and names it Cheppy. Cheppy's ability is voice mimicry, meaning it can imitate anyone's voice. Alan is delighted, thinking of how he can use this to trick his enemies. He then summons more cards, bringing out Hopper and Molly. Hopper has a provoke skill to distract enemies, while Molly can dig deep into the ground to create traps. Alan is proud of his progress. These G-rank monsters are very useful. This game is amazing, he thinks. Everything requires depth and complexity. This is true hardcore gaming. But then he accidentally falls into one of Molly's traps. He realizes he still isn't strong enough to fight monsters directly. It's 3 p.m. and a new problem arrives. Krina, Zerda's daughter, she has come to fight him. Krina attacks immediately, and Alan is shocked by her power and speed. Even with his increased stats, he is losing. With one powerful strike, Krina breaks Alan's sword and defeats him, a new sibling and the future. In the next scene, Alan's parents come to pick him up. We see that Teresia is pregnant. A new brother or sister is coming soon. Teresia tells them it's getting dark and they should head home. Krina leaves for her house and Alan returns with his parents. Alan tells his dad, "I want to help you with the farming. Mum needs rest and I'm big enough now." His parents are happy to hear this, but tell him he's still a child and should just play with Krina for now. Later, his mother mentions she saw him throwing stones at a tree. Alan explains he's trying to get stronger to protect her because of the monsters in the forest. His father picks him up, amazed by his spirit. Alan thinks that he was only throwing stones because he wanted to see if he had any skill other than summoning. His father says that you and Krina are both very powerful, so I cannot wait for your operation ceremony. Alan asks what that actually means. Then Thar explains that when they turn 5 years old, a divine ceremony will be performed. Through that ceremony, their skill will be revealed, and it will show what kind of ability they truly possess. His father then says that if their luck is good, Alan might receive a very strong talent that could help remove their poverty. After some time passes, winter begins. Alan notices that now he can keep his creature summoned for an entire day. Just then, Krina arrives and immediately attacks him. But just like before, she defeats him very easily. Alan's father is also watching all of this. At that moment, Thea comes there, but she is suffering from severe stomach pain. Seeing this, they immediately realize that the time for the baby to be born has arrived. Then Alan's father tells Krina to go and bring her mother there quickly. Soon her mother arrives and sends all the boys outside. The whole night passes like this and morning finally comes. Then we see that his mother has given birth to a baby boy. That means Aaron's little brother has now come into this world. She then says that they should now choose a name for the child. After thinking for a moment, they decide to name him Mace, and everyone really likes the name. However, this name was also taken from the name of a Moshara. Everyone is very happy and they celebrate together. Aaron then says that his previous life was very miserable. Compared to that, this life is much better. He really likes this world, and in this new world he has only one goal, which is to give his family a good life and make them rich as well. But he still has no idea how he is going to achieve all of this. And with that, this episode comes to an end. If you want the next part, then make sure to comment next part. So we will meet again in the next video. Until then, bye bye.